it is also being used as a means, as a clever ploy to bring about strategic depth in Afghanistan vis-a-vis India. Lastly, it is also being used as a kind of tactic to extort the West of billions of dollars in the form of civil aid and military assistance. Having said this, when we look at the world scenario, we find that India in particular has suffered from the tyranny of history. It is a tyranny of history that Pakistan has never been at peace with itself. It is a tyranny of history that Pakistan has not been able to be in harmony with the region, largely on account of its obsession with India. There is also a tyranny of geography. Apart from the arc of theocratical nationalism, India is encircled by a neighborhood which is politically unstable, economically stagnant, and prone to conflict. In this backdrop, we are now heading towards a situation where the United States is preparing to withdraw from Afghanistan by mid-2011 or 2011. You can very well imagine what is going to happen after the withdrawal of the NATO forces, leaving Afghanistan at the hands of Al-Qaeda under Sunni Wahhabi Islam. In addition to that, there is a very genuine fear that a section of militants might gain an access to nuclear devices and weapons of mass destruction. If acquired, this particular capability is not going to be used as an instrument of strategic deterrence, but as an instrument to annihilate and destroy the mankind. Make no mistake that 9/11 did not turn nuclear because of any lack of intent. What was lacking was capability to have that kind of access. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the overall situation that is prevailing and going to prevail in the days ahead is indeed very scary. And it is rather unfortunate that when the situation is building up so grave and grim, the authority of the state is getting undermined. And this is getting undermined largely on account of certain developments in the field of science and technology. Gone are the days when the state used to exercise the monopoly on the generation, control, storage, and dissemination of information. With the democratization of information technology, that power has been undermined to a very large extent. The technology has connected everyone. It has connected every household without giving anyone as in charge of the network. Therefore, this network is being used to undermine the state by way of accessing the information channel which takes you to the mine of information and storehouse of knowledge. The satellite communication has brought about highways and superhighways, enabling the terrorist or militant groups to not only establish contact across the borders, draw up plans, coordinate their actions, and launch violent militant actions on the targets they have selected. This networking is also helping them for indoctrination, training, recruitment, subversion, espionage, and ultimately creating refuge in different parts of the world. There is another area where the state has lost or is losing its monopoly, is on the monopoly it enjoyed or it exercised as the main source of force to control the society. This instrument of state being the legitimate instrument of force had helped us in the past to bring about order and stability, because this power in the hands of the state could not be competed by the people or citizens on the road or on the streets. Now, this monopolistic power of the state has been undermined to a large extent by the proliferations of organizations which are popularly known as the NGOs, as the environment right lobbies, business lobbies, and so on and so forth. Now, these NGOs or lobbies or the associations over the years have acquired enormous resources, capability, and the reach to advocate protest, influence thought and opinion, and mobilize the same against the system in order to pressurize it to listen to the so-called voice of the people and feel diffident. Now, what has really promoted the growth of such organization is the dysfunctional administration, lack of strategic thinking on the part of the state to put its acts together, lack of strategic thinking and direction, and of course, corruption. Therefore, we find that today we have a situation where challenges are increasing or becoming formidable every day. The state has to work within constraints which were not there in so many numbers and such intensity in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, then the question comes, what to do? How do we tackle this menace, which is indeed unparalleled and most heinous and sinister in forms and dimensions? No state, no matter how strong it is, can deal with the diverse, dispersed, and diabolic challenges of this sort, no matter how powerful it is, not even in the United States. Therefore, the demand and the need of the hour is, you have an architect